Hi, this is Chidambaram. Today we are going to discuss about create various interface fields and a PLSQL importer for concurrent program using WebADI interface. We can discuss about prerequisite to implement this concept. I have created the table for interface data to load it into temp table. These are the fields like session ID, batch ID, application ID, user ID, creation date, database, language, responsibility name, username, inside batch ID, and 4 attributes and status. Top of that, I have created 3 sequence. One sequence for interface part, one is for interface loading inside the part, and another one is importer part. So I have created 3 sequence. So now we can discuss and each and every step. Go to desktop integration manager, manage integrator. So these are the steps we are going to achieve it here. Just to create one interface. In the interface I am going to attach these many records like status, username, responsibility name, languages, database, creation date, user ID, application ID, batch ID. Then one more thing, how to create content. These things we are going to cover in this topic. Then how to make a field as read only in WebADI. These things we are going to cover it. Then finally, in the importer, using that importer, we are calling that concurrent program. In this, for the concurrent program, we were giving the input parameter as interface fields. So these things we are going to cover it in this implementation. So just we can go and create that interface integrator name. To create integrator, just put that integrator name. Next one is short name. Short name always uppercase. This is payables. Add function. Code BNE percentage doc. It will use for submitting that WebADI interface from that responsibility menu. So that we have attached those two functions here. Then go to next. Give the interface name. Interface is as a procedure, make as procedure. Package name is, this is the package name, and function name load data. Function is load data. Couple it. Load data IP return is FND message code. Just click it, apply. So interface created successfully. This interface name, procedure name is package name dot load data. Just click it. This is the attributes for the interface. We are going to change first that interface fields. Now go to status is new. So as we discussed constant, variable, parameter, profile options, SQL query, lookups. We can use it those values for that interface parameters. So we are going to cover it now. SQL environmental variable and SQL query, this and constant things in this tutorial. Status is here. Default type is constant and default value is new. Then username, go to that username. This is SQL query username. Copy this query, put it username. Then responsibility name, this is a SQL query. Put name and language. Then database environmental, database. Then creation date, environmental variable, sys date, user ID, environmental variable, application ID is SQL, batch ID, this is a SQL. So now the username is SQL query using a select username from fnd user where user ID $n user ID. If you use $n dot user ID, you will get user ID for that WebADI submitter. The same way responsibility name, the $n dot responsibility, it will give that responsibility of the program, the WebADI submission responsibility. Then languages is this is user n long. Using that one, we can get that language of this program. Then database is date, OA user ID is user ID. Then application ID $m.app ID. Using that one, we can get that application ID. Then for that one, for the interface, I am going to use batch ID because of when the batch ID is more important whenever we are try to implement this WebADI part for our real-time implementation. So those things we can discuss here. This is a sequence I have already created. This is a sequence. This is a sequence created for batch. Next, go to next. Go to next. Go to next. Submit. Integrated successfully submitted. Select. Once integrator is created, then we need to create layout. Select the integrator name, define layout. Our integrator is populated. Go to create. Layout name is underscore LO layout. Number of only one headers we are going to use it. Go to next. So everything is context, change to line. go to next, apply. Just we can do the trial test before implementing all other things. Go to checks, click it that integrator, go to preview mode, go to next, create document, click OK. We can see the interface details, interface program. This is the interface we are using. So it is accepting all parameters. It's accepting all parameters and just loaded into the test interface table. Here I am using session ID and inside the batch ID. So once loaded, I will tell the difference. What's the difference? We are using batch ID in interface as well as inside the code. Close it. So batch ID is 1, application ID 230. This is a user ID, creation date, database, languages, responsibility name, username, and attribute 1 2 3 4 just to give keeping blank, and status is new. If you compare with this one, status is new, username, responsibility name, expected, username, responsibility name, whatever we are giving in the interfaces, we can get it all the records in this WebADI template. So click it Oracle, just to go and check the table details before loading. This interface table, there is no record found. Just to click it upload, click it upload. It is 10 record is loaded successfully. Check it in backend. So here session ID, batch ID, application ID, everything is loaded as expected. This session ID is here. One thing we need to observe it here. The session ID for 10 this submission 10 record is loaded successfully. The session ID is same for all 10 records. All other fields also same, but if you check it, inside batch ID, this is increment for every records. Check it, this batch ID, we are creating two sequence for this load. One is for interface level, another one is programmatic level. For interface level, for 10 records, it will use the same batch ID. If you go to inside the package, if you use it batch sequence, it will increment for every load. So what will happen, that actually once we submitted, for every record, for each and every record, your API will call, I mean your program will call, this load is called for every time. So every time calling, by the time the sequence will increment for every load. So that is why you are getting inside batch ID is every incremental and up to 10 ID we can get it, but the batch ID will be there, right? This is for interface level. It's one time it is fetching it and keeping buffer and processing and it again and again. So it will not increment if you are using that sequence as interface level. This is the difference if you are using sequence in interface level as well as inside the package. So as of now we have loaded here. So this part is create various interface, this part is covered. Now go to create read only field and create content. So just to close it, query our integrator. Go to next, select it. Here these attributes populated from interface API. If you want add the additional columns, so if you want add additional columns, you can click it attribute. This attribute default attribute will come. You can change it to h1. We give our user defined names. Make its data type is string 3000. I am going to add for terms and condition for this WebADI. This is read only. So that is fine. Just to click it, apply. Click it one more field also, same like h2 string, length is 3000, read only h2, apply it. Click it one more field, h3 string, length is 3000, read only. Here also h3, apply it, and make us this displayed. We need display for all the templates. Okay, just to go to next, next, click it submit. Then click it our integrator name, go to define layout, click it and click it update. Go to next. Here all other fields are there, right? Whatever we have added through attributes, that is not null, that is not mandatory columns, so it comes as under optional field. The record field is whatever your added column in this interface, that's called record, that comes under record fields. All other thing is in optional fields. So in the optional fields only we are going to add our terms and condition. Just to click it. The terms and condition always comes in at a header level. Add our terms and condition details. I am adding, this is Vision Corporation. You need to raise approval request. Just to type it, some dummy name for terms and condition. The same way you can type it here also. The next option, you need to make it here also. It comes a read only. It's coming some header is comes different way and line is coming different positions. Here you need to change hint span is 0 and prompt span is 0 and data span is put it 10 like that. So in this output we can find it, the create attributes. Now the make, sorry, this is content. So for content we create attributes here. As of now content part is over. So in the meanwhile we can see the read only field also. Here what I will do, in this responsibility name is there, right? In the responsibility name I am making that field as a read only field. So here in the layout we can handle it as a read only. Just to click it, then apply it. So last updated successfully, layout updated successfully. Go to home page, manage integrators, check it over integrator, click it integrator name, go to preview. So before that we can clear it. So 10 records deleted. Go to commit, go to next, create document, click it close. Okay, now here we can see this is Vision Corporation's dummy dummy name for terms and condition. So this is the place you can add it whatever you want as terms and condition for that WebADI. So this part is just, you can try to change it also, you cannot change it. This time click it, go back and try to change it. This is the way we can achieve for terms and condition for our WebADI. Next one is create read only. Okay, already we make a column for responsibility name as read only. So I am trying to change it here. Other cell it will not allow, read only fields cannot be changed. So coming to original back, here you can change it, it's allowing. So user ID, this is also will allowing. So all other fields will allow it. So just to try to upload it. So 10 records are loaded successfully. Check it in backend. Yeah, 10 records are loaded successfully. So we didn't inserted the read only field for context one. So remember this place we didn't use from interface one. We are creating separately for attributes and adding that attributes in the layout. From that layout we are making as constant and coming here as terms and conditions as a read only mode. Here one more, here it automatically do the validation. Here you can check it, this creation date is not a date format but it is inserted as date format. So I am trying to change it, instead of creation date I put it some word and try to upload. One row is invalid, enter valid creation date. So in this in layout itself it will validate it and throw the error. So the same way you can copy and paste it here. Then the user ID is number field. We can change it word A. On the apple, this also character. This also character. We can change it and check it. So try to upload. One row, no rows loaded. One row were invalid. Check it. Here enter valid batch ID, valid application ID, valid user ID. So if even if in this WebADI itself, it will do the data type validation automatically. So check it here. So as it's loaded, all other records is loaded. Then go and check it here. So as of now we have covered this topic is covered. This topic covered and the interface, various interface is covered. So next one is we can create importer for concurrent program loading. Just to close it, go to the integrator, XX, select our integrator, go to update, go to next, go to next. We are not doing anything in this for content, just go to next. Here uploader part make is from template. Click it, create. If you want, you can change the title and header and uploader name also, but here I am not changing anything, just using that standard one. Go to next. Here the import type is there, right? Asynchronous, synchronous and API. Asynchronous is nothing but once you submitted the program, irrespective of program is completion or in not completion is running, the WebADI we can close it. I mean it will close it. But synchronous concurrent request, if you are submitting the program, you need to wait up to the program is completed. But PLSQL API, you can call any procedure or any function using the PLSQL API. So I am going to call the concurrent program through PLSQL API in this method. Importer name is xdxxcdm API, sorry, PLSQL concurrent import. Okay, we came here this part. For this importer, what is the importer here importer, where I am going to use this load importer as this procedure. I am going to use it for importing. So once click it, you can click it PLSQL API call. Once coming here, create PLSQL procedure. Go to package name, go to procedure name, load importer, give it procedure name. Here this is a mandatory step. Don't select anything. If you select some messages or FND message code, we need to configure it message code and a message. Otherwise, whenever you are submitting, it will throw some errors. The error is you need to update some attribute field, like that it will ask. So don't select it anything, just to keep it API return is null and click it apply. Because of default it will consider as varchar as return type. So don't select it any. Those fields are populated, default populated here. Here, click it, apply. One more thing, we as we started, I said two batch ID we are used it, and the third batch ID we are going to use here. The click it this add rule, type any rule name like cxcdm importer, copy and paste here. And SQL query, here also we can give it any SQL query, PLSQL API, PLSQL procedure sequence. Just you can select it sequence here. The sequence name is importer sequence. Reference name is any name you can give it. I have already typed for pre set up this one. Click it. Okay, then click it, apply. So imported now sequence is created for this importer part. For group definition, you can add it our batch ID P, all interface fields populated here default. Select it, batch ID, click it, apply. Go to API call. Here, this is the parameter. What values you are going to map for that parameter. So we need to configure those values here. So for batch ID, I am going to take it from interface. If you are planning to take the interface field, you should select as sources import. Next one is value. From importer, which field you are going to select it. Load data is a procedure name for interface, and p batch ID is the interface field. So this is the reference field for that. For this, p batch ID is a reference field for batch ID of importer one. Then select this value, this reference field, give it this reference name. The same way parameter, for parameter 1, what I am for p parameter 1, just I am making as some constant value. For if you are planning to put any constant value, if it is varchar, you should put it within single quote and put it type it something param 1 test. I am typing. In the source, don't select it anything for source. This keep it other fields are blank. And for the reference name also, you need to give this parameter name as a reference name. The parameter 2 also, you can give it to same value. Here the parameter ram 2. Here we can do one thing. We can select that parameter 1 from interface field. The interface field name is p at 1. So put it here. Import is import. Remove the default value and put it this value. think here we should remember where whenever you are using import, we should use the interface field as reference name. Other than this one, you can put it this parameter name as reference name. Here this place I am not using that import, just putting constant values. So I am using the reference name as well as parameter name as same. The status also, trying to hard code the status. Status is WIP, work in progress. So don't change it anything here. Interface batch ID. In the interface batch ID is nothing but just we have created sequence for interface. Copy this one, put the same name here, import, put the same name here, the same name we have put it here. This place and batch name parameter name is different because of using import. So click it, apply. So here I am using batch ID and add one more field, add row, the group definition. This is mandatory if you are using API, PLSQL API. P attribute name. Because of those two attributes from interface we are using here. Click it, apply. Here also if we can add this two rows which we have added, the interface mapping. Add row, it is loading. P batch ID. Next one is P attribute 1. Click it, apply. Just click it, submit. So here we are going to call load importer. The load importer batch ID param1 param2 status importer batch ID as a input parameter. Once we receive that input parameter, just loading all records into one temp table, that is test importer. I'm using the same. I'm using session ID here also, because of while interface field using the same session ID and that importer also using the same session ID. Then I'm planning to submit that concurrent program. This program is attached this responsibility payable vision operation USA and user under the user. Just initialize it. This is the program name. Just to open the okay, submitted. This is successfully submitted. Go to home page. Just we can open what I have created in this concurrent program. Here you see session ID, interface batch ID, param1, param2, status, importer batch ID. So using I'm calling the program as call from concurrent program. This is the program I have attached for that concurrent program. So just I am printing that values. What are the values we are passing that concurrent program? I am passing that one. Here check that parameters session ID, batch ID, param1, param2, status, importer batch ID, then default concurrent program values, error code, error buff. So now go and submit our program. Go to desktop integration manager, click it, manage integrator, check it, check XX, submit, go to preview. In the meanwhile we can clear it. Okay, commit, go to next, create document. Okay, it is downloading. Close it, it's opening. Here go to Oracle. We didn't change it anything, just click it, upload, and check it. I will tell this option and click it, automatically submit import, click it, upload. So 10 rows successfully uploaded, the importer ran successfully. Go and check it, check the interface first. 10 record is loaded, check that importer is only one field is loaded. The reason is here we are just receiving that importer and load it into table. Session ID, batch ID, param2, status, importer batch ID. Here check it, batch ID, this is our interface table. Interface table batch ID is 3, session ID is, okay, note it down, 3. Check it at importer. In importer the same session ID is populated and the batch ID also same. Param1, param2, the param2 is referring from attribute 1 here. Sorry, param1 we are referring from attribute 1 from test interface, but we didn't enter anything in this, anything is attribute 1, so data is not populated here. Test2, the param2 is default value param2, and the status also I put it WIP, work in progress. Importer batch ID, this importer batch ID is populated only for importer, so I will show the magic again. Here put that uploader, don't change it anything, just click it, upload, click it, close, come and check it here. Interface, sorry, interface, same session ID, same batch ID, but around 20 record is loaded. Even if you are opening this one, anytime you can submit it, even anytime you can submit it, but the interface is the right interface, will not change it anything, it's keep on loading. So that's why I put it that for the difference you need to use that inside batch ID. Using that inside batch ID you can find the difference. Then in this importer, check it, first time your submission, same session ID, batch ID is same, and param1 WIP is same, the batch ID is 1. So second time you are check, we are getting the same, but the batch ID is different. So once you have submitted the program, you can click it monitor, because we are calling concurrent program using that one. Just to click it monitor, you will see the program details here. The whether the concurrent request is here. Here also you can click it refresh. The concurrent request username, phase name, and the program, what's the status, everything will be coming here. Just to click it 72. Go to payables business operation. Go to request. So 72 is our request. Click it. So what are the data we have passed as a parameter? It is just displaying in this program. Just we are displaying here. Check it whether all records are populated properly. Session ID is 287. Session 287 is coming correctly. Next one is batch ID is 3. So this batch ID is 3. It's coming correctly. Next one is p param, we didn't pass it. P param 2, param 2 we are coming passing. Status sweeper and importer batch ID equal to 2. So what are the things we are passing from importer, those and all coming correctly in concurrent program. Here just I am using that custom concurrent program and calling that one. The same way we can call that all. uh, as I said, if you are clicking here in this uploader, in the uploader will load it all for every record loading. By the time every time the interface will call, but the importer will be there, right? Importer will call only one time. For example, your 10 record is there. For 10 record loading in interface, 10 time the call will happen, but in importer it will call only one time. So this is the way how design it. Here one more thing, for every submission here, click it, I will show the difference. Click it. For this single submission, only one importer runs successfully. One time we are getting messages. Click it close and monitor. 73 is coming. So only one time the program called submission. So I show the difference. Just to close it. Close it. Go to the manage integrator. Sorry, go to manage integrator, click it our program. I will show one difference. Just close it, commit, next, create document. Close. In this upload, I am putting here the attribute 1 is Chidam, attribute 1 for second record is Divi, another one is Akshara. Just I am changing the values from attribute 1 and click it upload. click it automatically submit import, click it upload. Here before run I didn't put anything, this attribute 1, just submitting 10 rows is successfully uploaded. We got only one time for imported and successfully, but here we can see the observation around 1 2 3 4 time is submitted. So how it is created 4 times? We are putting the group, the predefined group, right? In the predefined group we have added batch id and attribute 1. So in this, for this template, using the batch id and closed it, batch id is same for everything and attribute 1 is different for 1 2 3 and rest of things are 4. So in the based on this group, the importer program will call those many times. So here 4 different set of record is there, so it is calling 4 times the concurrent program. So and go and check the monitor. This is 74 75 76 77. This is 4 time it is calling. It's complete, it's running, keep on running, wait, it's running. So we can check it 74 now. The 74, check the view log. 74, the same record, the session id, batch id 4 and Akshara is coming. This record is coming one time. Okay, yes, it's coming. We didn't change other records, so just to close it, go, then go to 75, checking. Here db is coming. Yes, 2 time is coming. Next one is Chidam is coming. Yes, next one is nothing is coming because of these are null. So for that only we are using group. I will go to see, I will go to see in front in this definition. XX, click it, go to update, go to next, go to next, go to next, go to next, go to that API here, group definition. I used batch id and p attribute, so that it's coming for this and batch id and attribute based on that grouping criteria it is executing. If you put all other whatever you wanted different criteria for as a grouping and you need to call your program, you can add it in this setup here. If you add it those many times, it will group it and run your importer. So this is the way we can call the concurrent program using that PLSQL API. Here one more thing, just to close it, while I am submitting upload, it is asking that parameters, right? We are not going to validate any records before loading. We are just every time we are checking to automatically submit import like that. So I am planning to automate these things. The uploader option I am going to automate it. So for that automated, just to close it, just to submit. Again go to integrator, go to next, go to next, go to next, here the validation is there, right? Click it, update, boolean flag, click it no, don't display, don't enable. So boolean default yes means it's asking, we are putting it no, it will not ask it, just apply it. For importer is there, right? Importer boolean flag automated yes, description is go to next, click it submit. Just query that, go to preview mode, go to next, create document, open it, it is loading. Close it. Just go to Oracle, click the upload. It's automatic, that importer is go away. It's automatically submit import is enabled. Just upload. Just only one time is uploaded. So this is the way we can do automated these things. So here one more thing we can discuss. Maybe this will use for as a business scenario. This interface. As I said, you can upload it as many time, but user user will get confused if a user is submitting one time, again he is submitting second time, the same program same thing will call it again and again. So if they will confused if the program is calling two time, so if you want to avoid those submission for which submission the record is processed, those things we can find it. Whenever you are loading the program, just load at interface table, you don't do any changes. But in importer, once the data is in this importer, once you importer is calling, you can do updation statement for interface table here using that batch id. For example, this is the table. While you are loading, you put it status is n. Here update this table, set status equal to work in progress and batch id equal to interface batch id, and here you can put it batch id equal to our importer batch id. So once you set importer batch id where this batch id equal to interface batch id and status equal to new. So we know these two records from that interface. Using this one, you should update it to work in progress and a batch id of importer batch id. So here you will get for one submission here you will get 10 record is getting updated with new batch ID of importer batch ID. Then you can call your program. You can call your program. You should pass only this batch ID. So if you are passing importer batch ID, go and inside your program, you can process whatever the record is there with the importer batch ID, and along with the status is WIP. Okay, if you are using these criteria, you will get unique record for every submission. Then once you process your record, then you can change to status equal to status from WIP to some progressed or processed, like that. If you are using this is the way we can find out you, even though user or business submitting many times the program. So this is the way we can control it. So one more thing, if any issues is coming in API, in this API definition, for example attribute update, some attribute update anything, you should not update anything in this importer definition. If you are doing that one, here so many orphan data will be there. It is when if you are deleting in front end, that means it's not properly deleted in back end as well. So that's why we need to delete it. If we face any issues, you need to delete it whole WebADI, then you can recreate it. Don't try to update in back end and try to manipulate it for WebADI. It will not work out for that. So I will explain how we can call that asynchronous concurrent program in this next session. Thank you for watching my videos.